So I just wanted to make a quick video just announcing that Storm and Lava team has made our official feedback post on the Battle for Azeroth beta forums, and it just as a heads up, you can go and look at it, but if you do not have access to beta, I don't believe you can like or comment on it. But if you do have access to beta, you can go leave your support or like it or whatever else. But I'm just going to kind of quickly summarize it, let you guys go read it yourselves by linking it in the description. You can also get it on the EU forums from this link. I'll link that in description as well. But just to quickly summarize so you kind of have an idea of what we're kind of trying to get is, for one thing, we want Echo of the Elements to be baseline. Not a whole lot of explanation that's needed there other than just kind of explaining why we feel that's a good thing. And then movement issues with Frost Shock and Earth Shock. This is something I've kind of described in the past in a couple of videos, I think, maybe like 2 or 3. And in essence, what this is previously in Alpha, Frost Shock actually did more damage per Maelstrom spent than Earth Shock, but was less efficient because of the time spent doing it, because it takes 3 globals instead of 1. We found that that exact scenario was actually very, very nice, because it allowed us to pool Maelstrom and use Frost Shock for movement when you can't cast anything else. And since right now in beta with the current tuning, Frost Shock is not worth casting at all, no matter what. Flame Shock has a cooldown and Earth Shock has a fixed cost. You end up with situations where you're moving and you have absolutely nothing you could do and very little you can do to prepare for it. So we think that if Frost Shock is buffed to be where it was previously in Alpha, where it is not worth actually casting on like a patchwork fight, but it is worth casting during movement just because of the fact that it does more damage than an Earth Shock. So it's not a waste of Maelstrom, but it doesn't do enough damage more to be worth the global when you're not having to move. This adds for a really, really nice skill ceiling in the spec that could promote some predictive gameplay for movement and everything, so I think that would be a really good change. Next, we just have a pretty in-depth look at area of effect, AoE pacing. Basically just going over comparing BFA to Legion, how many Chain Lightning casts and how much time you spent casting Chain Lightning compared to Earthquake. And if you read through this, you can see that we spent a lot more time in BFA casting Chain Lightning than Earthquake. So we're basically just asking for a reduce in Maelstrom costs for Earthquake, since asking for a Maelstrom generation buff would be kind of unrealistic, considering the fact that it's always going to be half of our single target generation, or at least like, comparing Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning seems to always be about half of Lightning Bolt. So asking for a buff there would be pretty unrealistic, so we're asking for a nerf to Earthquake's cost, which would also pretty much automatically balance it to where we think they want it to be anyway, which would be using it at 3 targets. So pretty simple solution here, kind of looking at something that a lot of people have been feeling. And then just looking at issues like Storm Elemental, the buff once you get to 8 or 9 stacks, depending on your haste. So I'm not even sure if it depends on your haste or not, but at least at 9 stacks or more, you end up stuck at the GCD, where your Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning casts are below the GCD, which kind of feels unnatural, and you have this like slight delay between your casts and everything. So we're kind of pointing that out. High voltage, we're just looking at the bug where Chain Lightning causes a Lightning Bolt overload on the extra one, which is a little strange. And then Lava Burst critical hits, where it is not currently affected by, or it does not currently have the requirement of having a Flame Shock on the target to get a critical hit, which we're not sure if it's intentional or not. I'm trying to get an answer on that, because otherwise it's kind of hard to give feedback on Flame Shock feelings and Lava Burst feelings when it's potentially not working correctly and we don't know if it's working correctly. If it is working correctly, excellent, that is a great change. But if it is not working correctly, then we'd like to give some feedback on that. But that is basically it for this, and we have some comments and stuff, but if you have any feedback on this, definitely go on, leave a comment if you are able to, and let the devs know how you feel about it, or just that you feel like you agree, whatever else. But yeah, this is the official Storm with Lava community feedback post. So if you want to have a little hub for giving feedback for LA Shaman, we hope this thread will kind of fill that purpose. Again, link in description if you want to go check it out yourself. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully we can get this looked at by some devs.